It is March 1st. We finally came to the end of the month. And as we can see here on the monthly chart, that we finished as a +4, and the monthly has continued to one time frame higher. All right, so monthly still firmly kind of in control here. We definitely want to be paying attention to this monthly close, which was 5103.75, all-time high 23 quarter, and then the previous month's range. Still definitely want to be paying attention to 49.57. That would be what's really close to that 66 or 50.66 is kind of the level that's a little bit closer. Switching over to the weekly, we've got 1 day left in the week, and the week is just kind of really hanging out where it's at, kind of balancing here, in what a lot of tacticians would call a doji bar, right? The open and close are very close to each other. But because it was a monthly +4, we want to be paying attention to that. Should we get below that level, there may be some increased chances of liquidation, as we know that these big green bars are typically caused by momentum. So where there is momentum, regardless of the momentum is caused by big money buying or laggard buying or whatever, it's still shown here. And so they're going to be in there somewhere. And so the odds increase that they can get stopped out if it goes against them. If it goes with them, really you want to be patient, but you don't really want to short against it, and you want to be careful with your longs, right? Because you're going with momentum. On the daily, we got a +4, right? Same settle. We came right down to that 9 SMA. That's the one we talked about yesterday, right? A lot of you know, people watching that. I think we talked about that in the morning warm up yesterday. Is a lot of people watching the 9 EMA. A lot of people are kind of focused on the market right now because it's at all-time highs. I've been asked about it more, like in my personal life, more often, just because it's making the news. So more people are kind of paying attention, and typically when more people pay attention, this is kind of the stuff they find, I feel like. Um, but I'm just looking at it as a balance. Really, this is kind of like our excess, and then we kind of have this balance, kind of like a P shape, to be honest. And failure, if we get continued failure to break out above this high, I think the odds increase that we go down. Let's go ahead and switch over to the profiles, take a peek at these. Just a little bit of review from yesterday, right? We opened on a gap. Open was up here. Failed to find buyers above what became to be our close. You had some buyers yesterday get stuck on the 5. The market then liquidated, basically down to that 66. I think the low was 68, or it might have been 70. Yeah. So we have a low at 67, 68, 50, and 70. So we have 3 lows kind of right in this area. And you've seen it pretty much all week, right? In this area, it's come down here and hit here, and it bounced. And then the same thing when we opened, tapped there, bounced back up. So that area has been acting as, as a place where basically sellers start to cover. So definitely on the way back down. If the market does break down, you want to be paying attention to that level for sure. Yesterday, after the rally kind of started, we had trapped some longs short, basically like around like the 85, or some shorts down around the 85. Market rallied. We showed that we had the trapped inventory, right? You get these, what we call Brad prints. So sellers moved down lower, tried to sell this area, got stuck, right? They were trying to play this momentum. They got stuck here at around the 85. Market squeezed them out, and then the market moved higher above the 90, which was the level that we talked about yesterday. Pulled back to check if these guys needed to cover. They did. No extra selling, right? Because if they didn't need to cover, what they would have done is reoffered from the same level. They didn't, and then the market got that big bounce kind of into the end of the day, finishing on a spike to the upside. I did mark this 88, this 50-88 quarter as kind of the pullback low. I think an area where if the downside's really going to get unleashed, that's where it's going to come from. So because today was a +4, or yesterday was a +4 day, and a +4 month, we've got it marked here on the monthly, but this 103.75 is also the settle. And so we know that this is a +4 day. So we've got to be careful below the settle, which is an interesting kind of thought process, but actually makes sense because it was kind of the plan from yesterday, very similar area. The 101.5 is what I was talking about yesterday, or the 101. So this basically is going to remain the same. This 101 to 103.75 is basically going to have to see the market firm up above this level to get long here today. Because we got to see dedication to attack this excess that's up here. So we'll go ahead and we'll look at it like this. So out of this area, I guess we got through those singles yesterday, but out of that area, we'll look to attack the previous day's high, and then up there is the all-time high. All-time high. We'll say must hold this area to get long. Don't, let's see, most likely chop. All right. And then I think there's some opportunity to trade maybe inside this distribution, but I think it's mostly going to just be kind of chopping around in here. Um, if it does like work its way down, it is like at the high of yesterday's value area. So if it does start to work its way down and gain a little bit of momentum, then I think you've got that opportunity really. I think buyers are going to show up because they've showed up 3 times, and so like you know it's human instinct to be like, oh well, this level's held 3 times, I'm going to buy it. Like it's just going to happen, right? So I think they're gonna try to be early. So they're gonna try to buy it a little bit higher probably, which is like around the 74 to 76 area, or 78 maybe. So we'll say like 74 to 78, and then you probably get this it's like cautioned bounce that comes back up to this 81, and then that's like a chance to get a reoffer. So like if you miss the initial, because it might be hard to catch the initial, I think there'd be a second chance right here. And down to 50.66 is the level that we're looking for. Hey, Dad. Um, yeah, I mean, and like if they just kind of fail to take below this pullback low, this 88, I think they're really just going to kind of range, and then we might just get a balanced close to the month, or to the week here. We should get some decent information as we pretty much traded sideways all week, so the COT report should be helpful, which is nice. And then last thing I wanted to do, if we kind of merge these together, right, you kind of get an idea, right? See how where the value's at as we kind of merge these together. I think Jim Dalton's not including this profile in here. But really I think you would want to you just want to do it here. And so if you look at kind of this balance that we have, right? We've got excess here at the high. They filled these single prints, so they kind of retested the liquidity area. Now, if you look at this, yeah, this is nice and cleaned up. It's basically a fill of this liquidity, so it's kind of like a test of this high this spike was. So that's why I'm saying we've got to really be cautious being long today, just because of where it's settled at the the close or the last. Right, where's the last at? I guess it was only 3 points below. 103.75 was the settle, yeah. And then the last was 5100.75. Um, I must have mine set like to certain like seconds or something. But anyways, with that kind of happening here, you really want to see this continuation early in order to give you that kind of confirmation. But for the most part, this is either a big liquidity grab, right? Like they've just been absorbing longs and they're going to take this thing higher, or they're going to liquidate, and that would mean getting below this 88 quarter, and there would be look to see this low, and they're going to, what I think, and look at, like I was saying, like how many people have bought down here. I think they saw it work once, they saw it work twice, they saw it work a third time. When it comes down, they're going to start buying here on that 76, 74, 78 level. And then they're going to try to take it, but I think they're going to be early. If we start to slip below that 5103 is really our first sign. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Make sure you're managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And I will see you guys next week.